go action. Good morning, everybody. My name is Osa. It is Saturday, and we are here on Oakfield Farm playing Farming Simulator 19, or something like that. And having cultivated this field last week, we're going to figure out how to fertilize it this week. That didn't work. Oh, that didn't work because the engine's not on. There we go. Puff of smoke and going, and it only feeds when we're moving. That's a good thing. Actually, slow down, stop. Okay, that's set to 15 whatevers per whatever, and oh yeah, that's spreading stuff. So we have a bunch of digestate to sell, which we picked up from the BGA last week. And hopefully that's weeds there. Well, I'd prefer if it wasn't weeds, but hopefully that's weeds and not a piece of oilseed radish that we missed. That is weeds, that is good. And this stuff is going down fast. However, we do have about 300,000 litres at the BGA, so this is going to last us quite some time. Ooh, I am not doing this very well. We're wasting about 25% of it by not being on the field. So in the distance you can see our ploughing is underway, with all the spiky teeth at the edge of the field, where the worker doesn't go. And a little bit closer, we've just set the class axion off on cultivating the field just at the bottom of this valley. Now I still haven't installed the manure mod, so we're not using pipes to refill this. It is spring, so we should be able to get the herbicide out and start spraying those grass fields. That would be a plan. At least get the first grass cut as pristine, if we can manage it. Oh, we're not even halfway round. Well, we are halfway round. Okay, this is going to be a long and laborious job. And the reason why I will explain in a while. So another week, and there we go, empty. Turn that off, lift that up. Let's fold it in and head over to the top side of this field. I'm not too worried about not doing a headland at the top for here now, since this is pretty much going to be a manual job for the most part. And we can see all the shiny slurriness over there. Yay. And again, this tractor is coming in very, very useful. Oh, we can, however, load and unload into the truck. That's nice. So we could go back the other way. What I'm going to do is drive around in circles a bit. And then we can unfold that. So since there's two-way pumping in FS19, that might end up as a really good thing for us. We're down to 24,000, so this is a free layer of fertilizer. In fact, we got paid to make it, so it's even better. So the other thing I've heard suggested is with your cows and pigs, make manure, sell it at the BGA, get paid for that, and then use the free digestate. Which is a possibility. At this stage, I'm still not sure I'm going to do cows yet. Sheep's good. I know Sandy Bay 1.1, Oxygen David has installed manure for sheep, which Oakfield Farm, we're not getting that. And we also know 4 of his maps now are complete, finished editions. That'd be this one, Marwell Manor, Shamrock Valley, and Lone Oak, the American map. I think what we might be able to get away with here is to get to the bottom, turn around and go straight back up again. And turn that off. Oh. And that is the physical edge of the map, so a little bit of juggling around to get this thing turned around. So not exactly a, oh seriously, fold that up so it doesn't get caught on the edge of the map, and then unfold it. So this isn't a particularly big slurry tank, but I'm able to use it with both of the medium tractors as well as the large ones if I feel like it. So this does give me a little bit more flexibility. Also, the truck has, oh, come on, get closer, there we go, a very limited capacity as well. We've got less than 2 of these tanks worth in the truck. So I've got a partial refill and then we've got to head down to the BGA. Since I don't have to run across the top, well, we're probably going to have to finish this row off. So we're going to run out. And all gone. And this tractor's going to need a clean once we're done. Still struggles going up the hills. I'm going to give it that. We're not running at full speed everywhere with everything. There is a lot of gravity here. All right, hi truck. I'm having issues trying to refill this. There we go. There is a great demand for something. So that's it, 90%. So we've got 1.9 loads of the tank in the truck. And it's a long trip down to the BGA. So this is going to take us a while, I would say. May or may not be a bad thing, but oops, mind the tree. Try and get that lined up and go. I'm really missing bits here. How is this looking? Kind of going to say it's good enough. Reverse back a bit and complete that section. But I don't have GPS on this, so we're not going to do anything that the tractor's not capable of doing. If I wanted to do this by GPS, I would have to use one of our large tractors. Or Valtra might have GPS. I might have been foresighted enough to include that, because the Valtra is the spray tractor, and so if we're going to be spraying crops that are well grown, we can't see the ground. Okay, let's go. And again, missing a strip. A little bit of overlap, which will get the field covered. But as I said, I'm not going to be completely OCD about getting 100% done. Especially not when you consider we can have failure to germinate, death of crops due to lack or excess of moisture, missing out a little bit here or there. Fertilizing isn't going to affect the bottom line to any great extent. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of loss there, but not a big deal. I think maybe I should probably consider another line, headland across the bottom, just so that we're not messing with the edge of the field all the time. So, done. I mean, one headland was good just for the length of this piece of equipment. Two will give us a turnaround, which is going to be helpful, I believe. So off we go again. Now this is not as easy to see as normal fertilisation layer, because that definitely darkens the shade of the field. And I just ran down there without the pump on, so that was a total fail. We'll try that the other way. But if you catch the sun just right, you can see where it's happening and where it's not. Okay, let's try that again. Pump is now on. There we go. We are barely going to make the end of this row. That'll be depressing. We are going to make the end of the row, yes. Turn the pump off and I'll go and run into this corner here. I think we missed a bit, maybe. Two, 1, 0, and done. Fold that up, we'll take it back to the top of the field and we'll go jump in the tanker. Go fetch our supply of digestate for the next run. Now we have done, how much have we done on this field now? Probably about 20%. Rough guess. I'm going to guess 20%, so one of those plus one of those is about 20%. Heck. I was thinking, I had the plough turned on to create fields when I set up this morning. They're slurry tanks. I was thinking one of these would be really useful. 55,000 litres, so that's an extra 55,000 litres, which is potentially 40% of this field. No. Possibly 25% of the field, but it would give me longer between having to run down to the BGA. Obviously, it takes time to fill everything up before you start. What I did when I set up end of last week was I put the I filled up the slurry tank and filled up the tanker fully before I started, so we could get as much done in one clean run as possible. But now we have to go and fill up, and as we know, this tank is only enough for 1.9 of the applicator. So we're probably going to be doing 15% of the field per run now. Maybe even less. But if I had one of the field resupply tanks, that would at least let me do a little bit more between making runs. I could also put the applicator on a worker, and every time it messages me that it's empty, I can run and fill up from the field tank and not have to worry about where this thing is. but then I would be constantly running down to the BGA and back. Might be worth thinking about putting a digestate tank on the farm so that it's a lot more local to where the work's happening. I'm not seeing any traffic for some reason. I don't recall turning it off. Oh, there's one. I was going to say it looks like it's not moving, but it's moving, so we're good. Excuse me while I drive on the wrong side of the road because I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay, so it's dull and overcast. The ground is wet, but and that's. I think there was some rain this morning. That's why that is the case. There will be sun later in the day. Turn that off. Don't think the ground is too damp for this, so we're okay for now. But I wouldn't be applying fertilizer at this point in the day. Okay, into here. And over to here. So, yeah, we still have 317,000 litres. So, good deal. Okay. Ooh. Too much turning. There's a problem. This this tanker also has steering axles, so that's both a good thing and a bad thing when I'm concerned. Usually going backwards, I'm not expecting the trailer to turn out quite so quickly as it does. Okay, I have a firm belief that the camber on this roundabout is not favourable. It's actually an adverse camber, which is why if I go around the roundabout too fast, the truck falls over when it's loaded up with stuff. Back in the cab. Nice touch on this one is we have the fully operating dashboard, which tells me that the beacons are on. So I did hear just before I started the stream today that the John Deere 40 series, which Black Sheep Modding is working on, had been submitted to Giants. Giants had failed it, so he has fixed the bugs and resubmitted it. So we're a little way off getting the John Deere 40. I'm not intending to use it on this farm, but if I ever get around to streaming and finishing off Ungertsheim, I will replace that series probably with one of Black Sheep's other farms, and that will be that will include the John Deere 40. for right now. I also heard somebody else is working on the Classic Massey pack, which Black Sheep did for Farm Sim 17's mod contest. They managed to get his permission to reproduce that pack, so that will be nice, because I would intend, probably later in the year when it eventually comes out, using that using that tractor as, or that pack as a feature. Weep. Brakes on. Nice thing about this is I can unload into the applicator, or I can fill from the truck. Either way, very nice system. Okay, so the reason I have to do this manually is way back when, right, in Farm Sim 17, things I do change the economic difficulty. Sometimes I'll play on hard, sometimes I'll play on normal. I rarely play on easy, but that affects the value of stuff. Traffic on, yeah, dirt normal, yeah, automatic engine start. Defaults is on, I turn it off. So you have to get in a vehicle and turn it on. Stop and go braking is off as well, which means that the vehicle will stop. You have to take your foot off the brake and then reapply it to go. Fuel usage default, it can be low. Helper refill can be, usually starts at buy. I set all of these to off. But for Farm Sim 17, what I did was, when I was doing manure or slurry application, I would do it as a worker, and I wouldn't use buy because that's expensive. I'd set it to something like Oakfield Farm Cows, and that will reload the manure spreader as the worker goes. Same with slurry. You can buy it or you can take it from the slurry tanks. The difference is in 17 you could take it from the digestate tank from the BGA. You can't do that in 19, which is why I'm having to do this all manually. Okay, engine on, there we go.